Well, we're finishing another week, and it's always a joy to be able to spend this time with you. And I want to try to encourage you today in the midst of just ongoing reports coming every day right now about some of the things that are happening with mandates and all, and many other issues. I want to encourage you with the fact that God is working in hearts through all of this. And the story that I think of is that of Peter and how God used him to open the door to the Gentiles with the gospel. But the door was opened before Peter opened it. And it was opened because a centurion, a leader of a band of 100 men in the Roman army, a man of great standing. These men often had great even social standing in the Roman culture. And so this man had a heart to know the truth. And when Peter comes to, under the orders of the Lord, to Caesarea to meet the centurion Cornelius said in verse 30 of chapter 10 of Acts, 4 days ago I was fasting until this day. Isn't that amazing? Here is a pagan man fasting. He had been touched by the truth of even Judaism to know that there had to be something more than the polytheism of the Roman religion. And at the 9th hour, I prayed in my house. Folks, there are people right now, as I am giving this 5-minute word of encouragement, there are people right now whose minds are open to God. In the middle of the night tonight, there will be people that are going to cry out to the Lord to help them, wanting an answer. The Spirit of God is going to be tenderizing people through what they're going through. People in hospitals, people in the middle of divorces, people just listening to the news. And just like Cornelius, who knows what his situation was like, but he was fasting and praying. And he said, behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing and said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of God. He basically says that God sent an angel of the Lord to let him know that this heart cry had been heard. You know, it's amazing. God works in people's lives as they are crying out to him to arrange circumstances so that they can hear the gospel. Every few weeks, I'll have what we call the starting point class, and this is for people that are new in our church that want to find out more about our church, and so I have them all give their testimonies. And it is just amazing, from every type of religious background, every kind of circumstance. People will talk about how all of a sudden they fell under conviction in their hearts, or somebody came across their path. There was a time when they were thinking about God, and God graciously worked it out for them to hear the gospel, and now they, are in the class, and God had worked. I've heard that multiple thousands of times. And that means in your neighborhoods, my neighborhood, there are people that God is touching. There are people who are just looking for answers. And so as we get overwhelmed by all that's around us, let's not forget, God's on the move, people are open, and we need to be like Peter, obedient to the Holy Spirit, and go and tell them the answer is in Jesus.